Well, good morning, class. 23 minutes late. I brought the note from the office. Got it back there. Laptop decided, let's see here. Surge power in the USB hub, so I had to fix that issue. Then it decided to want to do an update, and then OBS wanted to do an update, and then got notifications from YouTube and from Google Classroom, and then it just kept flooding this little laptop. So we're going to head out, and we're going to hopefully still have volume out there. There's some issues going on too. We're going to talk about fuses today, in which you will have to do, and I will let you know in the middle of the video on your assignment for this class. So let's go ahead and switch over to the webcam, which is outside. Let me just check, make sure we're still having good volume. It looks like it. We'll find out here in a second. As we go outside here. I need my cookies. Had some pretty good winds last night. Knocked down a bunch of stuff that I was working on. Alright. And there's the Suburban. I haven't driven in a few days. Alright. I'm gonna go grab a tool. Okay, so what we have here is various types of fuses in the Suburban. And so let's look at this. We have these little AMT fuses. We have these larger ones. So let's go over a couple of little tricks. I've got a pair of needle nose pliers, and I'm going to just grab random that one. Woo! Okay, so if I can keep this in focus here. As you can see, these little tabs have been busted or bent up. Okay, so this is not a good fuse. So we want to make sure that we have something a little more decent. The problem is I don't have the lid, and so I'd have to look up what these fuses are for. So I'm going to shove this one back in. And then you can see I'm using a pair of long needle nose pliers. Okay. These just go into little slots. There we go. Okay. I'll grab another one right. Let's grab this 25. There we go. So once again, so a fuse, so what happens is electricity is going from the battery to the fuse onto the switch and onwards. So if a fuse is blown, that means somewhere past the fuse, through the switch, through the car's wiring, there's electricity flowing faster than this fuse can allow. And that's the purpose of this, is to prevent that electricity flowing, is the best way, too fast or too many amps into the line. By doing that, what can happen is you can burn up something inside the car, you can fry the computer, all of those things could be an issue. So that's why we have fuses, and that's why we have different sizes. This one's a 25 amp fuse, meaning it can allow 25 amps of current through that little piece of metal right there. And if it surpasses the 25 amps, then it blows. I'm just going through because I know I have two of them that are blown. And then what can also happen, you can see all this corrosion right here. That corrosion will cause issues, that cause resistance, and that resistance will make the flow worse. And so we want to make sure these stay clean. That's why you keep the cover on of the fuse box, so that way, one, if you go through a car wash, you don't get water in there, because that's supposed to seal this off, and I can get water through the hood this way. So that's something you have to be aware of. So let's go ahead and grab one of these big ones. There we go. Ugh. Yeah. You can see there's even larger. This is a 50 amp. Okay. So yeah, the fuses are forms of protection devices in the vehicle. Okay. And there's various types of fuses. We have two different here, and then we have what's called relays. Relays, there's a 4-tongue relay, is a switch that's activated by electricity. You can see this is all corroded from not having a cover on it. That's not good. Okay, so what happens is there's electricity flowing on one side. So this is this, and then you have electricity comes here. So here's like this, a little magnetic pole. So electricity comes through here, pulls, closes this switch, then sends electricity from 30 to 87 connection. Okay. Put that back in. There we go. So those are what the fuses and relays are for. I'm going to just stab out one more. Let's get one of these older ones. So, oh, here's one that's blown. So this would have a nice curve in it, but it's popped right there. And this is an older 10 amp. So, that one has to be replaced. Okay, so that's what the fuses are for, is to protect the devices inside. And now usually you'll have two different fuse boxes. You'll have one up in the engine compartment that does most of the engine management system. And then you have one inside that deals with the lights and dash and interior. But each car manufacturer has it slightly different, so don't take that to the bank. So be aware of that. And some vehicles actually have a main fuse that protects this whole unit. Okay, so you have some of those on your Hondas. And so you got to be aware of that. So that's what I wanted you guys, mostly quick lesson on fuses today. Pull them out using a pair of long nose pliers. Be careful you don't crack them. They do have little fuse pullers that are a lot nicer. They grab onto the little lip of the fuse. See, that's not a good sign. And so that protects the fuse better because it grabs this little lip right there. So that's a little better than just going at it. But yeah, those are things that you need to be aware of. And then if you need to test the fuse, you can use a volt ohm meter, and you can go from that corner to that corner, and you can measure that. Okay, so let me go grab a voltmeter, and so you can see that. Alright, so here's a Fluke 83 volt ohm meter. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure resistance. Now when we measure resistance, it's that omega symbol, and we want to make sure there's no voltage in it. So the car is turned off, so there won't be voltage going through because the switches and stuff aren't turned on. Okay, so I go ahead and turn that up. Now this will fluctuate a little bit, but right now it says OL, meaning open circuit, no voltage or no continuity. So see, they're not touching. So as soon as I touch them, we have continuity or resistance in measurement. Okay, so I'm going to set that down, and I'm just going to go right here. This is 30 ohm. So I'm getting 10. So that means it's connected. That means it hasn't burnt out. Yep, that one. Whoops. Okay, that one's connected. So I can go down here to these little guys, and the same thing. They have little metal tabs sticking up to make it for a quick reading. So there we go. So there's all our readings. Makes it out really nice. So, okay. And then we have to put our cover on there. So let's go ahead and finish up our lesson. Okay, so in today's assignment, what I want you to do is you're going to get onto the we're going to get onto, and I want to show it outside, onto an auto parts store. So I want you guys all to use the same one, so I want you guys to use O'Reilly. So let me go out there and show you what you're going to do. Alright, so what you're going to do today is you're going to go to O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and you're going to look up a fuse. Okay, so I want the headlight fuse for a 98 Honda Civic. Okay, so everybody's doing the same thing. So your assignment is to look up on O'Reilly's website for a 98 Honda Civic headlight fuse, and you will send me the screenshot in that for that item. So there's your assignment for today. Have a great week. I'll see you on Thursday. Remember, all assignments are due May 8th. I cannot accept any late work after that because I will be updating grades, and that way you can determine what you want to do with your grades, and it gives you ample time to determine if you want to do a letter grade or a pass incomplete section for Bonneville, or if you are doing concurrent enrollment, that you can set up for credit, no credit. Now remember, the student has to do the no credit, no credit, or credit, no credit, and I can't determine that, nor do I know. I still have to put a letter grade in, and then Weber State, through their fanciness, updates that. Alright, so there's your assignment for today. I will look forward to those assignments turned in. I will get everything turned up. So, thank you again. Don't fall behind. Like I said, May 8th, everything is due.